Ellen McCauley prayed off in Syracuse, New York. You know, we're right like in the middle maybe of session 32, and you know, there's a lot of enthusiasm, especially on Thursday nights, but when it gets to Saturday and you're at the parties and the weddings and the baby showers, sometimes it's a little more difficult. And so often we think if we can't be perfect, then we might as well just throw in the towel. We might as well just forget it. There's people who just want to quit. You're either perfect or you quit. And it made me think, does God expect me to be perfect? And it was so apropos about the Bible reading because he already said he knows we can't be perfect because of original sin. We were created to be perfect, but we can't be perfect because of original sin. And we have free will, and with that free will, we will sometimes choose to do wrong. And the only way we can go to heaven is through Jesus. So it gets us to the point where, are we perfectionists in life? And a perfectionist, when we think of someone who is a perfectionist, we think someone who's so obsessed with perfection that he micromanages other people in every situation. Now, there's those kinds of perfectionists that not only do they want to be perfect, they want their children to be perfect and their lives to be perfect and everything around them to be perfect. I feel most of the people in this room are perfectionists only when it comes to themselves. They want to do the best they can at work, and they want to take care of and be the best mother, the best family person, the best father. And what tends to, when you can't be perfect, you end up hurting yourself. Well, I can't be perfect here, so I'm just going to eat whatever I want, and then I'll try to be more perfect at work. So we want to be perfect, and then we think, well, what about God? Does God understand how hard it is to be perfect? Well, his law is perfect. The 10 Commandments are perfect. People try to change them, but really over time, there's really nothing wrong with the 10 Commandments. I mean, even the most crazy person can't say, well, you really should, steal. You can steal somebody else's things. No, it's a 10 Commandment. When Jesus comes into the picture, he literally bears the punishment that you and I deserve to pay. And when we accept the fact that Jesus bore this sentence we deserve to be given, and that our sin is completely washed away, we really have to stop and think about that. And it really makes me stop and think, because I'm always beating myself up. I'm always saying I shouldn't have done this. When you're a perfectionist, you tend to look back at your life, and instead of seeing all the good things, you say, I shouldn't have done that. And I wish I didn't do that. And I shouldn't have done that. And Jesus is saying, Ellen, I died for you on the cross, and I forgave you for those things. Do you really want to keep bringing them up? Because I've already forgotten them. And when you think about that, it really wants you to forgive yourself and others. And that I have no trouble forgiving others. I am so good at forgiving others. It's really one of my best qualities. My sister says, man, you just let him off the hook. I go, oh, he said he was sorry. It's all right. I'm good with that. But myself, oh, that cat of nine tails, you should have been better, you should have been better, you should have been better. Because I think I should be perfect. And maybe I was the middle child. And maybe my older sister was developmentally delayed, so I put even more pressure on me. And maybe I was a child of an alcoholic and trying to make everything all right for my mom. I can look back and know why I was a perfectionist. And if my mother said, if you're going to go to college, you're going to have to get straight A's and you're going to have to get scholarships. So I got straight A's. I was top of my class. I was up at night with a flashlight doing my homework because I had to make sure. Even now, when I'm a lector, people are like, you're a really good lector. Bob will tell you how much I practice. I practice over and over and over. I say it, I practically memorize it. I say it so many times because I don't want to make mistakes. I want to do the lecturing perfectly. I even practice my pray it off. On Wednesday, I do the whole meeting. I write notes. Look at, you can come up here and see. I already know. People are like, how do you say that joke? Right? I write, oh, that'd be funny if I said this. I write them down. Sometimes God gives them to me, and sometimes I write them down. But the thing is, God doesn't expect us to be perfect, so how dare we expect ourselves to be perfect? Because if we try to be perfect, then we get weighed down with the guilt and the feelings of inadequacy when we're not perfect. And what really can happen to make it better is when we stop thinking about ourselves and we start thinking about other people. The gospel says that Jesus came to serve. The creator of the universe came to serve. And that's why I'm helping my friend tomorrow. God created me to serve. And I really don't think, I want to do a really good job for her. Do I want it to be perfect? Kind of. But I really want it to be perfect for her. And I think that's better than wanting it to be perfect because I'm a perfectionist, okay? And also, the Christian life isn't about criticizing yourself. It isn't even about praising yourself. It's about living your life and doing the best you can and helping others. And none of us have it in our power to be like Jesus. But Jesus lives in us, in the Holy Spirit. And as Pat said, all we have to do is ask. Jesus, I'm asking you to help me forgive myself and help me, maybe I ate too much at that baby shower, but help me to get back in the saddle on Sunday. I don't have to be perfect. I wasn't perfect Saturday. I have one of the prayer offers came back from a big trip, and she ate very well, but she ate healthy. She walked a lot, and she didn't gain any weight. We can still be healthy and have a good life. And also we can aim for perfection. Who doesn't want to do a good job? What if you went to work and your boss said, you really could do a little bit better on that report, and you say to him, progress, not perfection. He'd look at you like, well, yeah, your progress could be a little bit better, So it's one thing to think progress, not perfection, and weight loss. That might help. But at work, you really have to try to do the best job that you can because they're paying you for that. You're getting a payment for that. Also, we need to go with the flow a little bit more. If you're a perfectionist and you think everything has to be just right and it doesn't go that way, that's when you start getting anxious and start eating. Because, that's not the way I wanted it. Did I want Bob's brand new truck to get hit by a deer yesterday? It happened. You have to say, he's safe. You have to look at no one got hurt. How often have you heard people getting killed with deer accidents? He could have gotten hit with that deer, and it was right on his driver's door. He could have lost control of the car, gone in the other lane. I mean, there's so many scenarios that did not happen that we have to be grateful about. And I think a lot about St. Paul when I think about perfection. He was a murderer. He was not the best person. He persecuted Christians. And yet God chose him, a flawed human being, to be the greatest evangelist of all time. And St. Paul tells us, I have learned the secret of being content in every situation. He didn't say, I have learned the secret of being perfect in every situation. Every time he fell short, he pressed on. He pressed on towards the goal. And here's something else. What is the goal? I don't mean our weight loss goal. I don't mean our 401k. I don't mean how much money we're giving our adult children that don't really need it because they could get their own jobs. I mean, how much are we doing to help others to get to heaven? How much are we doing for ourselves to get to heaven? That's got to be the goal. If anyone ever says, what is your goal in life? Does anyone ever say, to get to heaven? Most people don't. But isn't it? Isn't that our goal? Because we're all going to die. Our goal should be to get to heaven. Not 401k, not perfection. And there is a real link between obesity and perfectionism. Because when we fail to accept our own faults, it makes us anxious. So many people come here and they're always trying to backpedal. I had a bad week, Ellen. I really am trying hard, but geez, I didn't do as good as I'll do better next week. It's like a confessional in there, I swear. It is. And some people are literally like sweating blood. That's how bad it is. And it's all right. You gain a pound, you lose a pound. I always say it all comes out in the wash. Maybe next week, maybe the week after. We can lapse into depression and anxiety over not being perfect. And it's the kind of thing where so many people think if you're overweight that you're lazy, that you're sitting in a Barco lounge, you're eating pizza and half gallons of ice cream. And this doctor here says the majority of patients suffering from obesity are perfectionists. They're not lazy, procrastinating, passive-aggressive people. They set these high, unreachable standards in so many areas of their life. And when they can't achieve it, they overeat. And that was me. I was trying to drive 50,000 miles a year as a regional manager and have 4 children, bills, a family that needed me. I just couldn't do it all and do it all perfectly. So I ended up weighing 370 pounds. I couldn't do it all, and who suffers when you can't do it all? Yourself, right? Your job doesn't suffer, your kids don't suffer, at least they shouldn't. Overweight perfectionists think in all or nothing terms. Either we do something very well or we don't do it at all. I had someone quit session 32. She says, I'm not doing very well, so it doesn't make sense for me to come. And I said, you're not doing very well, so it makes sense for you to come. She goes, that's what I just said. I go, oh, no, that's not what you just said. You said you weren't doing very well, so it made sense for you not to come. And I said it makes sense for you to come. That's when Jesus didn't come to call the saints, he came to call the sinners. Pray It Off isn't for people who weigh 110. Pray It Off is for people who struggle with their weight. And the operative word there is struggle. And we need to set small goals. You weighed 171 tonight. How about 169? A whole new decade. That's a small goal. We need to set small, attainable goals. And this is huge. Don't weigh yourself every day. People say it helps me. I go, really? It really helps you? I don't think so. I don't really think it's helping you because you're still in a weight loss group. If it was helping you, you'd be Gina, Lola, Brigida on a model, What really helps is that we live our lives trying to get to heaven, serving other people, and trying to be healthy at the same time, weighing in once a week. And work on thinking in the middle. If you go to a wedding on Saturday, and it's open bar, and then they have a buffet, and you look and you say, okay, I can have the macaroni and cheese, or I can have 2 drinks, and then you weigh it. Give yourself a choice. It's only when you have 10 drinks, all the macaroni and cheese there is, 8 pieces of cake, that's when you get in trouble, okay? I'm gonna stop right there, baby.